Hello, all of you beautiful people out there. I am Evan, the T-Rex Singleton. I am here with my good friend Gavin, the Bull Bilton. We're going to ask each other a couple of questions pertaining to strongman life experiences, maybe even a couple fun ones at the end. So, let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it. First question.
That's what she said.
What is your favourite memory or moment in Strongman so far? And we've got lots of great, I can think of a few myself, yeah, but...
There's a couple of great moments that stand out in my career. I'm not totally confident that I can pick just one.
Yeah.
But the two that stand out to me are my first pro show Giants Live win, the North American Championships in 2019.
Yeah.
And the first time that I officially joined the 1,000-pound deadlift club.
Awesome. I remember watching that show as well because I think Bill Casman gave you a bit of shit as well, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, but that's not a negative because you come back and fucking absolutely smashed it, which was...
Yep.
It's you all in, mate, yeah. That's awesome. And I was there when you pulled the 1,000 pound as well.
Yeah.
It was on that night.
You also set the Welsh record that year, didn't you?
Yeah, 425, yeah.
Yep.
And I think like 7 people pulled this. That was a hell of a deadlift show.
That was seven guys
people,
over
1,000
1,000?
in one night, yeah. Incredible thing.
I don't know if we'll ever see that again.
Well, I think everyone got carried away with the following year and thought it was going to happen again. I was like, let's everyone slow down because I was like, yeah. You came to Cardiff, that was a great show. Awesome, mate. Awesome.
Gavin, what are some of your career highlights? Maybe if you could pick one or two, which ones really stand out to you?
Getting on the podium in my hometown was at the Giants Live, the World Open with the Deadlift World Championships. Obviously, that's the one you won.
Yes, sir.
But coming second, there's no mean feat to someone like yourself, so I was very happy. And obviously, it's the place I grew up, so that's a very, very fond memory. And it's the first time my mother has ever watched me compete live, so that was kind of cool to have my wife and my mother and my family. That was kind of cool. Yeah, super emotional. But then also, it's a kind of, not a negative one, I don't see it as negative, but it kind of does sound it, was losing to Luke at the Stone Off in the Worlds. I kind of put it as like it sort of like pushed me on more because like, you know, in my mind I should have beaten, could have beaten, whatever. But we don't live our lives like that in this sport. I think you know me well enough that I don't say, oh, shoulda, woulda, coulda, he beat me. But it was kind of maybe proving to myself that I'm actually quite good at this sport, and self-acceptance is quite tough for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And getting so close to making that final, I thought, not bad. So it just fired me on to have a pretty good season. But they're two of my fondest memories.
I will say this before we go on to the next question. Then this is not to sound patronizing by any means, any stretch of the imagination, but I will say that ever since I started competing with you, it has been awesome to watch you consistently get better.
Yeah, I think that means a lot, mate. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I've seen it, and again, I haven't been doing strongman for very long, so I don't want to sound like high and mighty or anything like that. But I've seen guys make it to Giants Live, and then it's almost they plateau. Or they start going down, whereas you've made it to Giants Live, and then you started getting better, and then you started getting better and better and better. And I genuinely believe that it's 100% achievable and possible to see you in the final next year. I really do.
Thank you very much, man. So, on to question 2. What is your ultimate goal in the sport, and what happens when you achieve it?
2 weeks into training strongman for the first time ever, I made a commitment to myself that I was going to win World's Strongest Man. I believed it in my heart wholeheartedly. I pursued it with everything that I have, and I still do to this day. And it is still my number one goal, win multiple different shows and all that good stuff. But the number one pinnacle of achievement for me is to win the World's Strongest Man. Always has been, and it always will be.
No, yeah, I believe it, man. So after you do that, what then?
Honestly, I get ready to win it next year.
Nice.
My interest lies in winning World's Strongest Man as many times as possible.
Awesome, man.
All right, Gav. What is the ultimate goal for you in strongman, and what do you do after you achieve it?
Yeah, it's definitely got to be. I think we all have this mad notion that we can win it. There's 30 guys show up for a 2 or 3 day show or 4 day show to win this title that only comes around once a year. So, like yourself, I truly believe it, and I think that's such a healthy thing to have within the sport. Is young guys coming through like yourself and myself and you just tearing at each other and bringing the best out of each other. So definitely, I want to win the worlds. That's my ultimate goal because it's becoming the heavyweight champion of the world. It's becoming the fastest man on the planet. It is what it is. It's the Mount Olympus. It's the Mount Everest. So winning that, yeah, and great. It would be great to to have multiple titles, but obviously age is against everybody, and the clock never stops. So my end goal is so simple. This is crazy. It's to win the Worlds and do whatever as much as I can achieve in this sport. Give everything I have, and once it's done, I know it's done. It'll be hard to leave, but I think as professionals, you have to say, "Well, I'm done." So after it's done, it's such a weird one for me. Is to become a teacher. My ultimate goal is just to be. I love history. I got a thing with history. I don't know what it is, but yeah, and also like to just inspire that. Maybe I'll still run my gym and inspire the next generation. But I don't think a lot of people know this. My wife does. Was become a history teacher, mate. I'll be the world's strongest history teacher. So
you're a nerd. Got it.
Yes, yeah. Such a random thing, strongest man teaching. But I just
I don't see that as much of a downgrade. It's more like a change of personal interest.
Yeah, because I don't know. I did really well in school and college and all that sort of stuff, and put it aside when I joined the army because I wanted to be a teacher. And thought, yeah, win the Worlds and then become a teacher. So, serious question.
Yeah, it's definitely a serious one with that smile.
Yeah, it is. It's I don't know if I can get out, Joe. It's so stupid. Fuck's sake. What you get when you cross a dinosaur with a pig? Jurassic pork. I'm so sorry. They're dreadful. More to come.
Why was that so hard to say?
I don't know. It's the Jurassic.
Why are you so red?
It's the Jurassic pork. It's the pork. I don't know. Oh my god. Right.
I hate you.
What do you call a dinosaur that knows a lot of words? A thesaurus. They're fucking awful. Oh, go on. I actually do have a question for you now, though. So, biggest pet peeve in the gym? Straight off.
We're just going to segue right into
that. Yeah. Just wedge it right in. Yeah. So, Evan, what's your biggest pet peeve in the gym?
My biggest pet peeve in the gym is not putting the equipment away when you're done with it.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
If there's one thing that will just... I am that guy that if you come into my gym in Southside, you deadlift, and then you leave the plates on the bar. I am that guy. I will take one of the plates off of the bar. I will walk over to your gym bag, and I will throw the plate in your gym bag as a gentle reminder to put your shit back.
Put the fucking weights away. I love it.
It's not hard, and if you pulled it out, you are strong enough to put it back.
Yeah, I got to agree. I spoke with Joe earlier. Pet peeve, it's phones. It's up there. People on their phones. I get it. You can look music or check your program in. Sweat on the bench or on the equipment, and then number one has to be equipment. I have a small gym that I run, and I cannot stand it when people do stuff. Ego lifting, I don't mind that. I can do whatever you want, but then people just leave stuff out in my gym. Oh my god! And yeah, they get told.
Yep.
Yeah, very fast. You and me or Simon. It's quite funny to watch Simon do it. Yeah.
Well, you know what really gets under my skin also is a lack of respect for the gym. Whether that be whether that be putting your weights away, whether you're coming in and
just your conduct in the gym.
Your conduct, yeah. You're not treating other members or the equipment with respect, stuff like that. Because I learned the hard way when I started lifting weights when I was 13. I was yelled at by full-grown men when I acted up in the gym that were not related to me. And I learned respect for the gym very fast, and it's a place that I like. The gym, I'm sure, like you and like many, many others, the gym is almost like a sanctuary to me. It's my therapy. It's my home away from home. It's where I go to not deal with the world, I guess you could say. So when I see like a snot-nosed kid come in and he's just arrogant and disrespectful, and it agitates me to no end. It makes my old wrestling days start to come to the top, and it's like, if I see you do one more thing, I'm gonna double leg the shit out of you, and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, man, Yeah, because I didn't ever think like that. Like, yeah, it's my gym or it's your gym, but like, it's your sanctuary, it's your church, and when you see people not giving a shit, it is such a bad thing, because the gym isn't the place to show off. It's the place to, yeah, like you said, just forget.
It's also not the place to be lazy.
No, man. Oh yeah,
There's all different levels to fitness. There's all different styles of training.
Yeah.
I totally respect 100% all of that. But if you come into the gym and you half-ass anything, I am going to have an opinion on you.
Yeah.
Because that tells me the type of person that you are. If you're not here to work, why are you here at all?
Yeah, love it, man.
Where would you be right now if you were not a competitive strongman?
I thought about this a few times before. I think I would have always ended up being a strongman. I know it's like almost not answering the question, but it would have been strongman. Military, I was a military man for 13 years, so you could say, oh, maybe I'd still be serving. But I always seen myself doing it. It's generational for people within this sport at any level. You watch as a kid, Christmas time, we have it at Christmas time. And I was always like, I want to be that guy. So when I played rugby, I wanted to be the strongest guy on the pitch, whether I was in the gym or hit as hard as I possibly could. When I boxed, I wanted to be pushing the weight. So like I think it's 100, 110 for heavyweights. I wanted to be 110. So I want to be the biggest, heaviest boxer. When I was a serving soldier, I want to be the fittest and the strongest guy there. Obviously, be able to do combat fitness and stuff. So it's strongman. I'd always the road always led to here. And I can't see like, oh yeah, maybe I would have been a teacher. Nah, because the choice I made were never towards that. Right. So I can't. I got asked this before at Worlds. I answered the same. I can't see myself. I'm gonna say it's the same for you, mate. I just can't. The roads and the path and the journey you were on, I always believe you were always meant to be here. Always meant to be me, Joe, in this room. Same with everyone in the sport. You don't do it by fucking accident. You didn't lift 1,000 pounds by accident. Mm-hmm. You didn't make the world's strongest man by accident. You didn't make all them podiums by accident. Because you've said if you would half-assed it, you'd be like, this is not for me. I can't fucking lift this weight. So I think for guys like us, it's always a sport, man. You ask a boxer, you ask a fighter, a golf, tennis, you can't see. And if you can say you were something else, it's not for you then. If you're I would have been a race, I would have been fucking this, a professional that. No, then. I think imagine asking Conor McGregor, where'd you see yourself? You're like this. I was always going to be a fighter.
Right.
So I don't want to jump the gun on you, but I always think it's going to be.
Oh no, that's pretty accurate. There's
it
obviously
led you here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can easily say like if. Like I have other interests outside of strongman physically.
Yeah.
Like I would love to get into like MMA, like serious MMA training. I had asked me anything on my Instagram the other day and said, "What do you want to do non-strongman related with your life? Things that you would be proud of." And one of those things was I want to be a black belt in a martial art, probably going to be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and stuff like that. But as far as things that I like am meant to do. Genuinely, I can't see anything other than this. This is what I was like, and it sounds so cliche and it sounds Hollywood and played out. But the 2 weeks into my training, when I said I want to be world's strongest man, like I knew it. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like I just after trying amateur wrestling, pro wrestling, I was a firefighter for a bit. Like I was a chef. I've had a little bit of experience in almost every single field, so I've tried a lot. I tried bodybuilding, and when I did strongman 2 weeks into it, it's almost like I felt like I fell into my place. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Love it, man.
It's just a perfect fit.
Yeah, and like we said, I think if you've said anything else, then it's not true to yourself. Mm-hmm. So every choice you've made, every job you've left or haven't bothered going to the interview, it's here. This is it. Yep. So I think you ask every guy at this level, every girl at this level, they should give you the same answer, and most of them, and all of them will. This isn't on the funny list. Favorite dinosaur?
A Tyrannosaurus Rex.
100% knew it. Yeah.
King of the dinosaurs, tyrant lizard king. The apex predator of North America.
How big were they? What's
about
stats?
40 feet long and about.
Jesus Christ.
It was about 40 to 42 feet long and about 16 feet high at the hips.
What's the weight on something like that?
Around 8-9 tons.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's dense. Arguably some of the densest bone in all of the bipedal ancient predators.
That's amazing. I absolutely love that. That's the sort of stuff I love. Love it. I'm a big fan of cats, so I'm just going to put that out there. I love cats.
You look like it.
Yeah, you...
What is the best advice you've ever been given in the sport of strongman?
Oh, this is a good one. So I explained to Joe earlier, I didn't want to give the full answer, but I fucking just, I'll talk forever. It was off Graham Hicks. My second crack at the Worlds. Yeah, I wasn't in great shape, as we all know. I went about it the wrong way. So we had this old gym in Morecambe that was like a unit, but there was like units within inside it. So we trained in his gym, did some mad deadlifts, and we weren't being programmed then either. So it was just trying to train with Hicksy, fucking don't know what the fuck I was thinking. But took the invite, did some crazy deadlift. Then we went outside, and before I went outside, he turned on these halogen heaters. There's a few in this room, little blowers. So filled this room, no bigger than this, maybe a little bit twice the size of this, so it's not that big. We then did some moving, come back in, it was boiling. And the first thing I said, I didn't want to train because I was a little bit hot and sweaty and my hamstrings were hurting. It was just a stone medley, 100, then 120, back and forward with 200. And the first thing he said is, you don't have a fucking choice. So literally, I was like, I've only met him a few times before. I was like, okay, but you haven't got a choice because are you going to say that the world's strongest man? Are you going to say that Britain's strongest man? Are you going to say that every other show you get to, I'm a bit sore, I'm a little... Obviously, he was fucking Graham Hicks, for fuck's sake, Britain's strongest man at the time. And he was just pushing me, smashing me. And then I just went, I think my hamstring's a bit sore, mate. I pushed it out of the session. But I did it. There's a video somewhere of me with my belly hanging out somewhere, blowing.
Oh, yeah, that narrows it down.
Yeah. Yeah, just pick one, like. And he just said, you haven't got a fucking choice. So I've had some cool bits of advice. But yeah, that was one of them.
Good answer.
So yeah, I just throw the question back to you. Best bit of advice you've ever had? Whether that be strongman or just in general, man.
I think some of the best advice that I was given, this was before Worlds this year, where I actually had the performance that I knew that I was capable of.
Yeah, man.
And I won't give anything away, but for the UK viewers who haven't seen it yet, but I had a very good performance at World's Strongest Man, and everybody who's been following my story knows I tore my bicep on my debut in 20. I got a really, really bad stomach virus 21. 22 I had 22 I had the anaphylactic shock on the first event. Like I had that curse at World's Strongest Man.
Oh my God, yeah, man.
So getting ready for World's Strongest Man 2023, a bunch of Americans like me, Bobby Thompson, Kevin Ferris, Trey Mitchell, we all went out to Colorado to train with Brian.
Yeah.
For his last show or his last Worlds. And I was doing the podcast with him, and we were talking about everything, life story, experiences, all of that good stuff. And towards the end of the podcast, I started getting really emotional.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Yeah, fucking great watch.
I guess I got caught up in the thought process of actually sitting down and thinking, like, I put everything that I have into this. This is my world. If I lost Strongman right now, I would go back home to America to nothing. So this is my life, and when I really sit down and I think about it, it's just it there's no other way to say it. It fucking bothers me when people talk about the best in the world, people winning World's Strongest Man, who they think is the number one in the world, and I'm not in that conversation. It's always guys like Tom Stoltman, Mitch Hooper, Alexei Novikov, Mateusz Kielskowski, and that eats at me because I work so hard and I've given so much. I mean, one of the things that I said on the podcast was I've lost girlfriends, I've lost jobs, I've been homeless, I've been broke, and I've still been pursuing this. And it gets to me when people don't consider me like one of the best because it's all that I work for. And the advice that Brian gave me, he was like, he could tell that I was starting to get there. So he took control of the conversation, and he talked a little bit about that, and then he said the advice that he gave me, and it still sticks with me to this day, is don't take criticism from somebody you wouldn't take advice from.
Yeah.
And that has stuck with me ever since, because it's like I understand the character that I put on for strongman competitions. I'm boisterous, I'm loud, I'm hooting and hollering, I'm bantering with the other guys and all of that. And I understand that that's not everybody's cup of tea, not everybody's going to like that. I totally get that and sympathize with that. But every once in a while, like those awful mean-spirited comments online, every once in a while, like I'll just be having a bad day and then I'll see that comment and it'll just be like the tipping point for me. And then I always try to remember Brian's advice, and it helps.
Yeah.
It's because
like at the end of advice off than that man.
Exactly. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, who's this random nobody coming to my page to talk shit on me when you've done nothing with your life, but you feel like you need to voice your negative opinion about me on my page, on my post. It's like, it's in a sense, it's like, who the fuck are you?
Basically, who the fuck are you, mate? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I feel your pain, but yeah, who better to take fucking advice off than, and be genuine with him, mate. You ain't gonna say something just like, pat you on the head, Evans. Everyone can see your fucking potential, and me as an athlete is fucking frustrating, but it just makes me work harder, so I can see it, mate. Everyone can. Fuck them naysayers. Who the fuck are they? So, a great piece of advice from one of the, arguably, the greatest strongman to ever walk this earth, mate. So,
agreed.
And such a, like, I've met him only a few times. You've met him more than me. Probably you know him not better than me. I just don't know what to say to him. But, like at the showcast, I was like, thanks, mate. I was like,
yeah.
But yeah, man. Brian Shaw's an amazing dude, and yeah, fucking awesome, mate. Eddie Orr, I talked to Eddie Orr a little bit when we at shows, and the stuff he says about him, like the way they act on TV, is nothing now. He sees Brian. He says like he's one of the greatest people he has in his life, sort of thing, because he is a genuine human, mate. As he is as an athlete, as much as he is. As great as he is as a sport, that's him as a person. You know him a lot better than I do, and I could just see it. I can attest
to that.
Yeah, and like I said, who better to take advice from, mate? And yeah, nice guy, mate. I mean, this was my question. So Joe asked me, because I believe, I don't like to blow smoke on my own ass, but people like ourselves who can do quite well at sports, get quite close to the top, you could have been anything. I believe that. Like you look at Michael Jordan, could have been a fighter, could have been because of the way they've pursued the career. So, why did you choose this? Why strongman? Just something? Do you think it's just something that was like always going to be, or just like? Well, and it's quite hard. I know we may have answered it a bit earlier, but this is sort of like.
Oh no.
Yeah, like why? Why?
Honestly, strongman for me was more of a experiment than anything else. And what I mean by that is, after I got out of WWE. And I was given the green light by my doctors to start exercising again. I was very heavy, and I didn't like the way I looked, so I committed to being a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And I ended up losing 115 kilos.
Okay, yeah.
And getting on stage, I competed in New York. And after I was done competing, I kind of came to the conclusion that this wasn't really the best for me. I didn't have a lot of fun doing it. Like the training was fun, but the diet was just miserable. So, and the competing was strange. I didn't like some aspects of it. So I was like, okay, in the realm of fitness and weightlifting, in my mind, there are three sports. There's bodybuilding, powerlifting, and strongman. Those are the big three to me.
Yeah.
So I was actually committed to trying powerlifting first.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot simpler, and I've never done strength-based training.
3 big major lifts, yeah.
And I've never done strength-based training before, so I thought that would be a good start and a good segue into strongman. So I wanted to do powerlifting. I found a powerlifting and strongman strength-based gym where I was living at the time in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I went to McMillan's Training Systems. I took a tour, and there was somebody doing log there. And I was like, okay, well... Oh, and context. I didn't know what strongman was until I was about 24.
Yeah.
So I didn't grow up with it. I didn't watch it. I vaguely knew about it because of, like, the reruns on ESPN.
Yeah.
So there's a guy doing log, and in between his sets, I went up to him, and I introduced myself. And I asked him a couple of questions about strongman, log specifically, just a whole bunch of different stuff. And he actually offered for me to jump in. Now, I'm sure you can relate to this. I keep my gym bag in my car at all times, so I can work out whenever I want if the opportunity arises. Yeah. So I was like, all right, let me go get my gym bag. I jumped in with him. First time I ever did log, I had a 300-pound log press. And after the rest of the training, he invited me to come back the next day to do some more strongman stuff. I think we did farmers.
Yeah.
And after about a week and a half to 2 weeks, that was when I came to that realization where I'm loving the training. I'm having so much fun. I love the physicality of it. Yeah. And then honestly, my love for strongman grew as I competed, because that's when I started to experience the brotherhood. That's when I started to travel. Yeah. Before I did strongman, I was never outside the country.
Yeah.
and I've only been to like maybe 3 states. I had zero interest in ever traveling.
Yeah.
The second I started traveling for strongman, I found out that I loved it.
Yeah.
So my love for the sport grew as I competed more and more and got more involved in the sport. But yeah, it was actually just kind of like a happy accident.
That's amazing, man. But I always think that there would have been, I believe in like karma and destiny and things like that. There would have been a reason that man would have been training at that time. He would have made a conscious effort. Oh, I'll skip this or do this or I'll get it or traffic or a red light. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you both just went, boop, like stars aligning, mate. That's class. I love that, man.
Why the Welsh Bull? Because I've noticed that you don't have horns.
No, I don't. No.
You don't walk on all fours.
No.
And you don't look like you eat anything green. So, why the Welsh Bull?
It was a guy called Robert Kahn who I served with on the first tour of Africa, and we were playing rugby when we got back because the battalion was like on a bit of a chill out in 2009. And I was playing rugby like battalion level, and he just said, "Go on," he was like, "Got the ball, go on the ball," and that was it. It just stuck. And then he'd be like, "Oh yeah, just bulling around." That's all. He was a bit of a loose cannon, Robert Kahn. Great rugby player, good football player, just good all round athlete. Never took anything seriously. But I remember just taking it into contact, boshing someone, and he said, "Oh, you hit that guy like a bull." And I was like, "Oh yeah, cheers, mate," sort of thing. And we got really friendly, sort of thing. Then when I left, I was like, "Oh, you always have to have an edge." Big Z, the Beast, yourself, T-Rex. And someone's like, "You got to call yourself something." I was like, "Well, I'm not going to call myself." I said I was called the Bull years ago, but you got the Georgian Bull. So I was like, it's going to be the Welsh Bull. So the Welsh Bull stuck, mate. There's a guy called Robert Kahn, if you ever watch this, a good friend of mine. And just called me the Bull. I was like, and for years on, I boxed a bit, and he said the same sort of thing. But then I was like, I can't give myself like a fucking persona. And just stuck, the Welsh Bull. Cheers, Robert. It's down to you, mate. Which would you rather, the 230 log or the 500 kilo deadlift?
500 kilo deadlift.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's probably the most alpha lift. Yeah.
It's the most alpha lift. Everybody recognizes a deadlift. Like, it's literally just picking up the heaviest weight off the ground. I mean, it's as simple as you can get.
Yeah,
most people understand. Not to mention the amount of attention a heavy deadlift gets.
Yeah.
All around the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Log press will be seen by lots and lots and lots of people.
Yeah. I think he thinks the same as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
That looks monstrous.
Exactly. I'm holding a 500 kilo deadlift, and my poster is going to be in a random shed in the middle of Boroughbridge, England.
Another serious question for you, mate.
You have tells. You do know that,
I'm
right?
a bad poker player. So
Here comes a serious question.
Sorry. It's kind of serious. Why can't you hear the pterodactyl when it goes to the toilet?
Gee, Gav, I don't know. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom?
Oh, the P's silent. Gotcha. Yeah.
Who is your favorite strongman?
It has to be Gary Taylor. So
Yeah.
the only Welshman to ever win the title, 1993. He was on the podium multiple times, and also he won a lot. He won like everything within the sport. I think he was a bodybuilder and an Olympic lifter. Did a bit of powerlifting, and he won the title in 1993. So it has to be. He's one of my favourites. I've never spoken to the man. I don't think he's not even on social media. Get it? I'd love to just have a chat with him.
Yeah.
But he's up there, and also I don't think I got one. He is that because of what he is to me within this sport. But like Brian Shaw, phenomenal guy. Got to know him a bit more at the Shaw Classic earlier this year. Eddie Hall, just a nice guy. We get to talk a little bit at shows. I don't know if there's any others. And yourself, mate. Genuinely yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah. I like get on with everyone in this sport, but yeah, you as well, mate. You got to be up there, bro.
Cheers.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like you spoke to me about my father. He didn't bother messaging me, which I thought was a nice touch because we spoke at the Show Classic. I just like that sort of thing.
I knew when
and
that.
you even said I didn't want to. I was like, yeah, thank you very much.
You know how all of that goes. If something unfortunate happens in your life, your message box blows up, and I didn't want to contribute.
It would
to
have got lost, and that was the worst thing. But yeah, thanks for all the messages. That's not just on the knock, but I like that, mate. Thank you very much.
Of course.
And he's fine, by the way. Now he's home and everything. Yeah, he's doing good. Pain in the arse, though.
What do you think about the evolution of the sport?
It's crazy in the past 10 years itself. You go back 20 years, it's got even more. I just don't think there's any limits to what the human body can actually do. the likes of Iron Bibby are proving that overhead. There's something, like, if we're talking about the strength sport itself, you look at powerlifting, 500 kilo squats are happening now, and insane bench happening. Eddie Hall, I think, was the first, like, he broke it when he pulled 500 kilos to prove that if you want it, you can do it. I can't really put it into words, I just have to describe the situations, if that makes sense. So, and look at Thor, this sport, I mean, you put Thor or Brian Shaw or Big Z or yourself into any era, and oh my God, this generation, this past 10 years, stratospherical, it's been insane, and I can't see a lid on it. I don't understand when Baby presses stuff, I just don't get it. I'm just like, you strict pressing, like, there was a 200 kilos a couple of weeks ago at this gym.
Yep.
And I'm just like, ew. I'm like, ooh. We're both involved in the sport, yes. We understand it, but I don't. When I see it, I'm like, I don't get it. Like warming up backstage of that log press, I didn't get it. I did not understand it. I was like, hey.
I remember, I got a funny story about that. So my current log press all-time record is 207.
Yep.
And I'm doing log with Bibby in Darren's gym one year. I think we were getting ready for Glasgow.
Yeah.
Probably, I think. I don't really remember the specifics of the competition or the day, but I remember being in there training with him, and I went up to like 180, 185, and I was doing like doubles or something.
Yeah.
I'm pressing them out. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty strong and all that. And I asked Bibby, who was sitting down with his brother, I asked Bibby, hey, you want in on this? And he's like, no, I'll go up. And I was like, all right. Well, that was my top set for the day.
I'm done. Yeah.
I'm good. So we throw on weight for him. I think we went up to like 195, and he strict pressed it, and it was easy.
Yes.
And he dropped it. And I was like, all right, what's the plan this time? He's like, 205, 207. I was like, oh, okay, so my all-time one rep max. Awesome. He goes up to the log, cleans it, pressed it like it was empty, brought it back down to his chest, pressed it again like it was empty, and then dropped it. And I was just like, all right, that was my maximum effort, one rep max log that he essentially threw in the air like a 7-year-old.
It's insane, man. His power is insane. He's a nice guy as well, but I don't understand. We watch it. I'm just like,
that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, mate. Like
it takes a second to compute, doesn't it?
Yeah, because like he was warming up, and I was like, "What's on the log?" And then Andy Wilby, who owns Rebel Strength, was like, "It's 180," and I was like, "Oh my God!" And he was just like, he just snaps, and I was like, I was like, "Mommy," I was like, "I don't get it." I was like, "I don't get it, mate." Yeah, but he puts the work in, and that press was phenomenal.
How did it feel getting your first podium at Giants Live at Britain's?
Felt great. I'd missed it for the past 2 years due to quite a serious injury. And to get back there and put on a show like that was pretty good. Huge crowd. And it was nice that people were talking to me as one of the favourites to win it, which I enjoyed. I'm not knocking my performances. I have to be a realist as well as an optimist. I wanted to win, but Adam Bishop and Hicksy come into phenomenal shape. Yeah, I might have put one over on Hicksy, but I was chasing Bish down. Obviously, he's two-time champ, and he is what he is. He's a phenomenal guy. From an athlete, real nice bloke, loves his fishing, fish with a fish. That should be a thing.
That should be a thing.
I always comment on it. I think
that is a T-shirt waiting to happen.
Yeah,
I'd buy that.
100% should be his thing. Silverback, where you at? But yeah, let's back to the serious thing. It was great, and it's sort of like it helps you same sort of thing, self-realization that I'm actually quite good at this sport. And I put a lot of people to the sword that day. Some new guys who were coming through, and there was talk of them, and I didn't really concern myself in that sense, but I keep them in the rear view, just to see what's going on. I was just hunting Bish down, and it went the way it went, and I just sort of, missed the podium, as in the sense of the top spot. But getting second was great, and then obviously qualification for the Worlds, which was something that was chasing down, because that's what we all want to get at the end of the day. But I was very, very happy with that performance. I'm coming next year. I'm sorry, Bish, I'm taking it off you. So I'm looking forward to it. It was just great feeling. And on to the next.
Good answer.
Signing out.
All right, so.
Oh, one more.
It says right here.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Go on, let's have it. Go on.
It says right here. This one's actually written down. This one isn't. This one isn't mine.
I can see that you're
This is
pointing
written.
at nothing.
I'm pointing right at a question.
There's nothing. I can see the reflection. Sorry.
All right, so it's right here. It's written in quotations. If there's time, ask Gavin why he doesn't lose weight.
Oh, that's a serious question, Joe.
I think this is a question we all want an answer to, Gavin.
There's something wrong with I do lose weight, and unfortunately they keep writing it down in the programs.
I don't think you lost any weight. I think it just got redistributed.
I think it definitely did. Like, it's off my piss tank and it's gone elsewhere.
Follow-up question. When was the last time you were able to see your penis? Mirror does not count.
For fuck's sake. I have a full-length mirror in the shower, so does that count? No.
No. That doesn't.
Underneath?
Mirrors do not count.
Oh, when I was 15.
That is...
And
Americans get shit for being fat.
Can I not say penis? Yeah, I have a big dick, so it's fine. I see it all the time. Just cut it. Sign out. Any more? For fuck's sake.
I have one.
Go on.
What is your favorite dinosaur?
I like the pterodactyl. Cool, because it flies. Jurassic Park is probably one of my favourite films. I call it one of my hangover films. I can put it on and just chill to it. It's got to be the original. I'm not a big fan of the
newer ones, the worlds.
Yeah, I just don't get it, man. I don't understand it. It's got to be the originals.
That's fair. I respect that.
Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, Goldblum.
Goldblum.
And I actually love the dinosaurs, actually a real dinosaur sort of thing, and it was made.
Yes.
I don't like
practical effects.
Yeah, I don't like the CGI stuff.
I agree.
So it's got to be the old flyy one, pterodactyl. Pretty cool. Or the what's the ones where the thing pop out?
Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, the one that spits stuff in his face.
Dilophosaurus.
Or the Velociraptor is savage. I'm going through a lot here.
You literally went through every dinosaur in the movie.
What's the one with the big fucking ball on his tail? Like, boom.
Ankylosaurus.
Awesome. Like, awesome. It made of armor. Love that. There's a lot of them. I'm a big fan of dinosaurs. I didn't even realize. Fuck's sake.
I'm a really big fan of dinosaurs. What's that thing with the tail club thing?
Yeah, like
or the one that flies.
The bat one. The winged one. Yeah. Stegosaurus Rex. That's one. Is it Stegosaurus?
Stegosaurus.
Yeah, the big one with the long neck, though.
That's Brachiosaurus.
What's the herbivore one?
What?
The herbivore.
There are literally 50% of all dinosaurs are herbivores.
I got 50% right. I have one more question for you, mate.
Please.
What's the dinosaur's favourite quote? Jurassic times calls for Jurassic measures.
This interview's over.
You're done.
This interview's over. So that was Strongman Questions with Evan the T-Rex Singleton and Gavin the Bull Bilton. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure to leave a comment. Goodbye for now.